One of my favorite books of C.S. Lewis, and he's a great writer, is his Perelandro. It's part of his space trilogy, and it has to do with the fall of Adam and Eve. And one of my favorite parts of that book is where the main character, he's about to go off and die, he thinks, and he looks on the uncorrupted mother of that planet that's kind of like Eve, but not fallen. And I've often meditated on that part, and I recently got more insight from a talk that a priest I know was giving on Adam and Eve. So C.S. Lewis says, as he stood looking down on her, what was most with him was an intense and orphan longing that he might, if only for once, have seen the great mother of his own race thus, in her innocence and splendor. Other things, other blessings, other glories, he murmured, but never that. Never in all worlds that. God can make good use of all that happens, but the loss is real. Right, so this longing that we wouldn't have fallen, even though God has made these other glories, it's still a real loss. I think it's so powerful and describes part of the human experience, that longing and that shame that we have with us, where because we're fallen. And this priest on this retreat I was on recently said the reason that we put on wedding dresses is because in that moment we want to see our bride as the original bride, as Eve, and I think that's really true. So we're seeing, that's why we get all dressed up and stuff, we're seeing that original innocence of Eve in a wedding, and I think that's super powerful. And going on even more powerfully, and I've done a video on this before, the bride, the Christian bride, really is the new Eve, the church. She's in persona ecclesiae. So we really do get to fulfill that longing to see the uncorrupted bride in the Christian bride. We really get to fulfill that in a very real way. And if you want to know more about that, I made a whole video on how our bride, a Christian bride and a Christian husband, really are the church and Christ in a very profound and special way.